Fenders. Well, hey, we got 2K on them, and we went to 150 grit. And we're going to block these bad boys out. Hopefully we don't have to do too much icing on them. They'll turn out good. Maybe another coat of 2K primer. So that's what we're going to do. Alrighty. Oh, and welcome. So what we have here is nothing special. Alright. We're using 150. I could go with 180 or even 220 to start off, but I want to rip these things flat real quick, and I'm probably going to recoat them anyway with another round of HP 307, which is actually P307 on the can label, but HP is the product name. So anyway, they feel really good, no problems. We'll get some gloves on. Got good circulation in here, and it's freaking cold today. Don't like cold weather. Hands don't like it, especially when you do this for so many years. Arthy is not your friend. It sets in pretty quick and starts hurting everything. But good exercise. All right, let's burn some calories and knock these bad boys flat. We're going to do a little time lapse on this. All right. Okay, everybody, I just wanted to show you all what I'm doing here is taking this down with this at 150, okay? I'm referencing to the high points. Now, every time I block this way, I got to block an equal amount the opposite way. And when you get around the turns, I like to do this and just shave it around the turns that way and that way. So it shaves down pretty nice, and then you just go across the flat. Of course, I put a little bit of an arc into the block to keep that match to that, see? So when you're doing the panel, you don't want to make sure this is totally flat. You'll just change this to a flat surface. So it is a curve. And see, it's not a full curve. You can see how it really starts bending here and up here. So we just work it nice and easy, and we glide this block down. We're not pushing the work. You push the work and you're pushing down, blocking this, you're going to rip a lot of material up and waste time. You just want to glide it to where you hit the highest points, and you can see we're just starting to reference into the highest points. And you can see it's called add and subtract. You can see we're actually taking some of the high build off and getting past the epoxy. Here we have a low, but we have a high right here. So you work to that point, not to that point where you're going to negate it. So you're fine. And then the littlest shadows that you see along this line here will eventually just go away and dissolve. Here's a high point right up in here. And then we block to that point, and then there's the reference over here. So we're pretty much cut down on the 150. I'm going to go right to the 220, and I'm going to 220 real light here, 220 all of this out. It doesn't need a 150. The reason why I wanted to cut this is because I really put a lot of material on here, and I wanted to level it out on that 2K, because it's a real nice 2K that really you can add some millage into and get rid of some of the whoopties. And you can see just by doing that, I am almost just gone. Technically, I can just sand this back and ice it right out. I can probably even just get away with just putting another coat of 2K and blocking back, because I got a good form into this anyway. Not a lot of material, like I said. Not a lot of material. Just a couple millage, a little bit of millage in it, and then that's all you need. So we're going to continue on. I'm going to do that fender in the same fashion, 150 on the flat all the way around the wheel arc, and then I'm going to go over with 220. Okay, just to let everybody know for referencing, I have the block curved a little bit with a sticky back 220, and we're 220ing this down now. And what I'm doing is I'm just crossing over this way into the transition, and then coming back over onto itself, canceling out what I just sanded. As you can see in the stamping the lows and the highs. And of course you can see it was cold when I shot this because it ran a little bit. We don't worry about that, guys. It's primer. We're going to block it all out. Don't worry about that. The goal was to get this panel loaded. Not flooded, but enough on there to where I have enough material to block it down. It's all in the art of sculpting. It actually takes an artist to do Autobody. You got to feel the panel, you got to feel the block, and you just got to know where to stop and what you're trying to do. We always, like I said, in this shop here, we work to the highest point. That way we know where our lows are to fill them up, and once we get everything leveled like that, then we final out with one nice pretty coat, and then we're able to have a good substrate to paint over and last us for many, many years. Okay, since I'm going to be recoating this with 2K one more time, it's not going to hurt me to put 220 on a sponge DA to let it conform to the curve. Now, I don't want to punch through. I just want to get this ripped up. You cannot put primer over unsanded primer. It's never going to hold. So we want to put some teeth into it. Same thing with the areas that we are low. We want to take a mental note that we have lows, and a couple lows. We want to fill those. We want to pay good attention when we put a nice coat down just to slow the rate over that area, to put a little more millage in there. That way we can cover it and get out from underneath this. This is only going to take one more time on the 2K, which is going to be impressive. And then we'll verify one more time. It should be good to go to seal. So fenders are DA'd down real lightly with 220. I wore the 220 out, so it really wasn't cutting too well, but it doesn't matter. We're just trying to make sure we don't have any areas that are not touched with the sandpaper. You do, and you coat over it, I wish you the best, because it will not hold. Just ask me how we know. So anyway, we're doing really good here. We're going to 2K these, and that should get us for this go-round, and then we'll block them again and see where we're at. Thanks for all hanging in there with us, doing these fenders all the way through to processing the paint. It's a big deal for us, and this is an unexpected detour. We didn't want to do this on this build, having brand new fenders and having to relocate the wheel opening, because of an issue with stamping and or fitment. So we're going to just leave it at that, get these in 307 2K, and call it quits for the day. Right, let's do this. Well, it's time to spot in the epoxy in the areas we punched through with a little bit of metal, and then I'm going to 307. Come with me. Fan of 307. P307. It's gray. Okay, what's the first thing you know? Come on, everyone. You should know. Old Jed's a millionaire. We're going to do this 4 to 1, and then we're going to add a little bit of that in there and slow her down. Right on, bruh. Come down here. We're going to mix half a quart up. The reason why I took this little mix cup in there is because if I keep dumping it this way, it just kind of screws up my end there, and I don't want to do that. Alrighty. Okay, we're done. We're here at the cleanup table. I'm going to clean this gun. I'm going to go back in there and show you what we've primered. And if we did our job right, blocking the previous 2 times and cycling, this should be our final. Alrighty, so this is where we're at. I'm not looking too shabby. Not looking too shabby. And I loaded it up a little bit, and of course it's only 68 in here today, and just wanted to show you all where we're at with the 2K. So to sum this up, we are at the point where we block this back, 220, we don't see anything, we're good, we'll 320 out and go to a seal coat. If we have any little bit of deflection still in it or any little changes, we'll hit it again, we'll put some HB 360 and possibly ice it. But for the most part, we're pretty much flat. The insides of the fenders are good to go. We just got to do a quick sand in there and paint those, and we're pretty much set to hang these fenders on this truck, do a final alignment with that hood, and then we're going to be getting ready to get the bed sides off and start working on them and finaling those out. Everyone, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it here. I know we have a lot of content that is very repetitious and it's not for everyone. I get it. But we try to make it as adventurous as possible with this most boring type of blocking, sanding, priming job as we can. Right here with this little tiny shop called Classic Car Creations. Thank you for your time. We'll see you soon.